Welcome to Go Beyond Busy, the podcast for small business owners who are ready to slow down, breathe, and bring calm clarity to the way they work and grow their business. In this episode, Christine talks with Alex Frew from 3P Digital. Yes, there's a strange noise in the background during the interview, but if you stick around until the end, you will find out what it was. Here's your host, Christine Abela.
Hi, I'm Christine Abela from Go Beyond Busy. I'm here with Alex Frew, who runs a business called 3P Digital, and he is on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing really well.
So tell me, what have you learned about running a business that you wish you'd known earlier?
That I certainly needed to have tougher skin and a harder heart. That is absolutely for sure. It's never as easy as the dream it was to initiate that endeavor. But I think if I distilled it down, looking back on the last 10 years, and we would have employed across the group of companies anywhere between sort of 200 and 300 people. We've had businesses set up in America, Canada, and in the Philippines. And out of all of that, the learnings that I've come down to really would be the mistakes that I made. And I think that's how we all learn. And they would be classified as people, money, and my least favorite topic, legal. So that would be the triangle of golden nuggets that I could give to my younger self would be those three things.
Tell me about the legal. Let's start with the hard bits first. Sorry, but let's start there.
So legal really cost me the most, which is probably no surprise to people that have been involved with any legal matters, whether that's just helping your own organizations bring in processes and streamlining your contracts, or if you're actually engaging legal representation for business acquisition or disposal, or engaging legal to pursue another matter. The lesson that I got from legal really were, I've started 4 businesses with co-founders, and my co-founders were my people. Inner circle, friends I trusted, people I spent years building dreams with. So much so that one of them was my fiance. And I operated on the belief that trust and shared ambition were enough, that the informal agreements and the promises, that mutual respect would carry us through, and they didn't. When you start off and you have nothing, it's very easy to dream, but when the money grows, the pressure grows with it. And when that pressure grew, people changed. And when people changed, the absence of that tight legal framework became the biggest risk to the business and the biggest risk to me personally. So I really wish that someone had told me on day one that, and this might sound probably a little bit too simple for some of the people that have had an eye on this from the start, but a handshake is not a shareholder agreement. Today doesn't guarantee alignment tomorrow, even down to roles and responsibility, equity splits, how you would exit the business. They all need to be formalized before the emotions enter the room. People you love can make decisions that you never expected once money, power, and really when you strip that away, it's almost like insecurities come into it.
What would you like to say about money, since you've raised the topic?
I need more of it. So if any of your audience would like to give me some, that would be great. Really, my takeaways from money is it doesn't motivate people the way you expect. My overarching why as a person that I've been able to commercialize is to help people be more than what they ever thought that they could be. And in the early days, I genuinely believed that money was that ultimate lever to attract or to go and get whatever you wanted in your life. From our very first employees, I rolled out a profit share model for every staff member, full transparency, monthly P&L meetings, coaching and roadmaps to achieve their big whys and their big goals in their life, the whole thing. But interestingly, instead of motivation, I got disappointment. People thought that profit share would make them feel valued and they would become rich overnight. And instead, I think it created more confusion, pressure on their side, and resentment when they saw that the business was growing and we were moving into offices and we're employing more people. And it's just left them with unmet expectations. So I think my takeaways from that were most people don't want a performance-based upside. They actually just want certainty. And while incentives do work, I think they only work for the people that want the responsibility. And I think in most growing organizations where you've got a great solid bench strength and you've got some good team workers below them, you'll always have these brilliant people that show up 9 to 5. They give you 80% of their work effort, and they'll do that for 10 years every day. And they are so valuable to your organization. And money really won't unlock any more performance from them. What I found was that if they wanted more responsibility, it does help that. And also money, to me, money is not everything, but it unlocks everything for me. But it means a lot of different things depending on a person's background, the relationship that they have with money, also just how they treat risk around money as well. A bonus can't really fix that lack of clarity or their capability. So it taught me a lot about human behavior. And I'm still learning about human behavior, and it certainly wasn't in the way that I expected.
Oh, so one of the things that you said before we started this was that sometimes founders get things wrong with regards hiring and delegation. Can you talk about that a little bit? What do founders get wrong about hiring and delegation?
I've got a small sounding board of other like-minded founders, and I might have been in a fortunate position that I worked for really one company before I started my own businesses. And I worked with them for 13 years. I started at the bottom and we were doing $5 million. By the time I exited that company, I led one of the largest acquisitions in New Zealand, actually, for the Konica Minolta business over there at 130 million. And I was leading just over 1,100 staff. So I think probably the biggest two things that other founders I've seen get wrong, and I don't believe that there's a black and a white with running a business, but the things, in my opinion, is that they either delegate and they don't correctly set up that person for success. So there might not be an operating procedure for their role, or they'll say, go and do this, but they don't know how to do it themselves. So it's a little bit of, they delegate without guidance. And I think that can set up that person for failure, which is a detriment not only to the owner, because then they start being risk averse to delegating out, which means they're cutting into their own time. And then the second part is, as founders, I believe that when we first started our business, we're generally a sole trader, sole operator. We might be fortunate enough that we have one or two other people around us, but intrinsically, we'll work harder than anyone else in the business and longer hours than anyone else in the business, because if we don't work, we don't eat. And the second thing that I see wrong that founders do, or in my opinion is wrong, is that mindset follows a founder, and you'll see them being busy for busy's sake. A lot of podcasts and materials touch on this, that at a point in time, a founder will have a bigger impact on their business by working on it than in it. And all too often, I see founders working in it. And while it is dollar productive, they might be doing that sales job or that customer service job or that operations job better than anyone else could. It certainly isn't giving them the best return on their time investment in that business. So
you mentioned at the beginning that there were three things, and the first one was people. What would you like to say about what have you learned about people?
It rolls off the back of my money lessons that in a successful organization, the co-founders or your leadership team, your bench, if you've got it right and you're incentivizing them correctly, I think that the two go hand in hand, that money can change people and position and power. And I reference money there, but I do think it's more about position and power in terms of just the dynamic they have in the role. People that come from modest roles into an organization that enables them and believes in them and grows them into more, I think that they can hold on to a little bit of fear in terms of, now I have this that I've never had it before, I might lose it all. And it doesn't change who they are, but I think it amplifies everything about their new position in life, whether that is tied to money or power or respect. And it just brings fears, desires, and insecurities to the forefront. It creates a bit of a scarcity mindset. I think it would probably be the number one thing that I've seen more often than not that is tied to people that have intrinsically changed, but the position changes or amplifies who they are.
Tell me about 3P Digital. What do you do?
3P Digital. So I'm in a really fortunate position now after 10 years of running other digital agencies. We've got a few thousand clients around Australia, a couple in New Zealand actually. And 3P Digital was a chance for me, ironically, since I just said that founders are always on the tools and that's not the best place for their time. It's enabling me to start working with other business owners to really tap into my why of helping them become more than they thought that they could be. So I work with a small group of founders or business owners that have got big dreams but realistic investment forecast to achieve those big dreams. So I'm really working with a great group of people around Australia, predominantly now, that we can work on, while it is mainly their digital acquisition part of the business. So how do they get more branding? How do they get better return on their marketing investment? But it's more an overarching, let me become a fractional chief marketing officer in your organization, and I can bring my 20 years business experience in, and we can go and capture a new market, or we can bring a product to market, or we can just promote a product better. So yeah, this is a passion project of mine on the Gold Coast, near the surf, sand, sun, and I'm just absolutely loving working with business owners again.
That's great. Thank you very much. I'll put a link to 3P Digital. Actually, it's fireyourdigitalagency.com.au underneath this video. So that's how you can get in touch with Alex. So thank you very much for joining me today, Alex. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, Christine.
And in case you were wondering what the strange background noise was during the interview.
And by the way, do you have a dog snoring or something?
Oh my God, I do. It's a 20-year-old French
dog snore through the whole thing.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And I might not edit this bit out because that's funny.
And it's not hard to hear. I think you just get desensitized to it.
Yeah, I could hear this noise and I'm thinking, it sounds familiar. What is that noise? It sounds like a dog snoring, but that's okay.
Thanks for tuning in to Go Beyond Busy. If you're looking to grow your business and want expert guidance, visit gobeyondbusy.com to apply for a no-cost business strategy session on Zoom. Christine Abela is a business consultant and tech strategist who's helped hundreds of business owners move from chaos to calm. Want your business to run better, feel easier, and earn more? It all starts at gobeyondbusy.com.